Welcome to carplab.co.uk. We've had a few emails about the hermit rig, so today we're going to look at how to tie the hermit rig, what components to use, and how we can get the best from it using a solid PVA bag. So the components that we need for the hermit rig: we need a good hook bait, good hooks, some braid, in this case the new Christ and Jackal, boilie stops, good pair of braid scissors, obviously the main line, pole elastic, John Roberts rig boom, a square pearl lead, ring swivel, tail rubber and a buffer bead. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, onto the main line, thread a tail rubber. This is an ESP version. Send that up the line. Then you want to thread on the rig boom, but before you do, just pull off a little bead that's already comes attached to it. So send the plastic tube onto the line, and you can put the tail rubber on that just to keep it out of the way. Then we want to put the lead on. Then the buffer bead. Then we need to tie on the swivel using the Palomar knot, which I'm sure most of you know. If not, there's a rig section that's going to contain information on knots that we're developing for the website. You might not be able to follow it here, but the Palomar knot is widely documented and is probably the strongest knot you can use. As with all knots, want to moisten it and draw the ends down. Make sure that the knot's perfectly formed, which it is in this case, and then just snip off the end. Not with your braid scissors. Use some other scissors, otherwise you won't be able to cut braid. The swivel should then fit nicely inside the buffer bead. The John Roberts rig boom, or plastic tubing as it now is, should fit nicely inside the lead, and everything is ready to go. The one thing that isn't ready at this point is the pole elastic, and we'll deal with that a little later on. So we've just put a rig together now with the Christ and Jackal size 10 quarter curve shank hook, reasonably long hair, and a loop in the other end to attach it to the rig. We're going to attach a mainline cell dumbbell to the hair, and we'll finish off with an Avid sight stop, which basically give a little bit of colour and extra attraction to any hook bait. And it's just basically a small peg what pulls into the bait. Wonderful. Now for the elastic part of the rig, if we take our completed lead arrangement, move the lead a considerable way up the line, so we're left with enough line to work with. We want to take a number 4 and number 5 pole elastic. Unfortunately, we've not got an elastic that's camouflage, but it doesn't really matter. Carplab will probably produce one at some stage. We want to tie the elastic to the main line with a simple overhand knot. Now these are the bits that they don't show you on the video on YouTube, but hopefully the secrets are revealed. Trim the tag end of the elastic, and what we want to do is just tease that through the John Roberts tube, and it comes out of the top. Simple as that. Now we want to untie this knot, and it simply comes apart because it's not very secure. Pull the tail rubber past the top of the elastic. I want to pull the elastic back down and use the tail rubber to secure the elastic over the top of the rig boom, like so. Leave the tag end for now. The other end of the elastic, you can put it under a bit of tension. You can tie it around the line. I think it kinks the line. What we'll do is we'll thread the elastic through the little buffer bead like so. And then we'll put it under tension and tie it to the swivel. Now, because the elastic isn't very strong, you don't have to worry about the lead coming away should a fish get tethered up. It will release from the tail rubber before anything anyway. So we just want to tie this on with a couple of overhand knots really. Again, it's ensuring that the link isn't 100%. We want a weak link. The elastic will serve its purpose. We don't want it to come off while it's doing what it needs to do, but what we do need to make sure is that it will come away should the lead get stuck and your line is snapped at some point, which hopefully won't happen. So a couple of overhand knots, just securing the elastic to the swivel, leaving a little bit of a tag, trim that down, and then push your buffer bead over the tag, over the elastic, over the swivel, and just pull the main line. And all you need to do then is pull the other end of the elastic, and that'll give you some tension, and the elastic system is set up. You can trim the tag at the other end, and what we have is the completed hermit rig with the elastic inside, so when a carp picks the bait up, it's got this tension. So all we'll do here, thread a small piece of silicone onto the hook length. We'll then attach a quick link to the hook length, making sure that all of the filaments of the braid are in the right place. Then we can clip this to the ring of the swivel and just slide up a little piece of silicone to make sure that everything stays in place. And obviously you can change your rig very quickly then as well. So, finished hermit rig, ready for the PBA bag. Trim the tag down a little bit further, and away we go.